Welcome to the Motor City. It is Detroit, Michigan. It's Monster Energy AMA Supercross and FIM World Championship. We are in beautiful Ford Field. Jason Weigandt and Jim Holley here. Chad Reed attempting to run away with this series as we get into the stretch run, but we've seen some crazy things happen here in Michigan before, both in Pontiac and now that we're here in Ford Field, so you never know. But right now, Jim, we're looking at Chad Reed, and he's had great success when we come to Pontiac or here in Detroit.
Yeah, you mentioned that Detroit area, and he's on. If he can win here tonight, that'll be 3 in a row for Chad Reed, and he'll extend his point lead. He's got 27 now on Kevin Windham. You know, good things happen here. And on the other side, on the lights, Villapoto's got 2 wins, so he could make it 3 in a row. But you know, the Trey Kennard, I think, you know, he's a solid deal after last weekend. What happened with him not qualifying in the heat race, having to go through that last chance race, winning the last chance, getting into the main event. You know, I looked at Cycle News, the front page. It looked like he had a pretty good start. He goes down at the start, comes back from last, and finishes 4th. So, you know, his worst finish this year, a couple 4ths. And with Detroit, and then next weekend, of course, in St. Louis, the final round there, it'll be interesting to see. But Villapoto's got his work cut out for him. He's going to have a little bit of help from Trey Kennard. Yeah,
it's going to be interesting to see how those two face off tonight. Now, in the big class, by the way, we don't rehearse these things, so I'm going to throw a question at Jimmy he's not prepared for. Late in the season like this, you've been there as a racer, so you should be able to answer this one easy. Late in the season like this, where's the motivation for some of these riders? Chad Reed obviously is pumped up. He's got a championship getting in within his grasp. For the other riders, are they still as focused? Do you start to get burnout? Are there injuries you're dealing with? Do you start looking at outdoors? Where's everyone else's head at this point in the game?
Well, you hit on 3 of the key subjects. You know, a lot of guys are looking to the outdoors. A lot of guys are injured. They're trying to get over that. But I don't know. Back when I was riding, I'm looking at the dollar signs. It doesn't matter if I'm in 4th or 5th in the series. I still want to, you know, I want to try to win one of these things, and I want to get the dollars. I mean, there's a lot of money out there. There's a lot of good bonuses, and that's what motivates me is that dollar sign.
That's why you're still working out and racing, absolutely. So we still have the potential then to have a couple of new winners. We saw guys like Millsaps and Hill break through earlier. We know guys like Andrew Short haven't quite gotten there yet. So the potential is still there even late in the game like this.
Well, it's interesting too because actually when I flew in, I brought my buddy Willie Simons. He came out with me, and we're on the Avis rent-a-car bus, and there's Timmy and Evie Ferry, and I got a chance to talk to Timmy on the bus yesterday before we got the rent-a-cars, and you know, he says, hey, I'm feeling good. You know, he goes, you know, after the injury, I had to come back to Toronto. I didn't, you know, it was a big, hard track to come back to off of injuries. He said, last weekend I felt a little bit better. He says, you know, I've always done good here in Detroit. I'm looking to get my first win. So, I mean, you can't count out a guy like Ferry and Short. All these guys are hungry. And for a guy like Short, like we mentioned, we saw him. It's been a while since we've seen him up on that podium. I know he's going to get hungry again to get up on that podium and possibly steal a win, but he's going to have a little help from Chad Reed not getting a start. But, you know, Chad knows how important those starts are. You know, the past weekends he's had bad starts in the heat race and had crashes and things like that. But that main event, you know, he comes out and he knows what he has to do. He has to get the start and stay out of trouble and ride his own race, and that's why he's got 2 wins already. Hopefully he can make it 3 here in Detroit.
When you're on the Avis bus, you didn't do the backflip over the rails like you did with Stewart, did you?
You know I did.
You did?
Yeah. To be fair, he goes, what are you all pumped up? I go, no, I'm just happy to be here, just living the dream, just living the dream.
You're a trained stuntman. It makes it easy. You can see behind us that we're going to have to clear this racetrack because the Dirtworks guys want to get to it. It's going to be a pretty cool track out here. I'm looking at the steepest face of a tabletop jump I've ever seen besides those walls we had earlier.
Well, you know who built that? That was Bradshaw, Skippy up there. Brian Bradshaw, he says, you know what, I want to put something in like the 80s have, you know, when you had to ride. And I said, hey, that looks pretty good over there.
Yeah, Wild Willie used to ride that stuff too. All right, that's going to be it for our race wrap-up from last week and a little preview this week, but stay tuned, of course, here to supercrossonline.com. We'll have a lot more great videos. We're going to put Jim in the sphere of fear later on. Keep watching to find out what that's all about. And, of course, we'll have our webcast tonight at 7 p.m. Eastern Time.